Hey, you guys are back? Here you are. Hey, so you're back again. And today what we're going to cover is how to do methods section. So when you do the methods section in your lab write-up, you want to consider three things. First thing, the methods portion, which is just basically a general description of the lab that you're doing. Second thing you want to talk about is the materials. Okay? And the third thing is the overall procedures that you have. The methods work like this, okay? And this is the easiest way you can understand it. If you go home and you talk to your parents and you tell them what you did for the day, you don't tell them, A, I went and did this, B, I did this, 1, 2, 3, and list off all the little things that you did during the day. You give them an overall synopsis or summary of what you actually did, right? So we worked on this disc lab. It requires different types of materials, and here's what the purpose was. And that gives you a little short snippet. So in your methods, you really want a 2 to 3 sentence little blurb that says exactly kind of an overview of what you're doing. When you do your materials, you want to make sure that you have materials that are bulleted off, don't number them. You want to make sure that it is complete, that it has all the materials that are going to be needed for that investigation, and that you can have that for the next person to develop on. Right? The procedures portion is going to be numbered. It should be detailed. Most people think, oh, I got detailed, you're good. You need to follow it. Yes, you need to follow it. You want to make sure that it's very specific. Yes, you want to make sure it's specific. You want to make sure you have units in there. You want to make sure it has every little thing in there. Probably the biggest key to it, though, is oftentimes people will have step-by-step to the nth degree. Too much. They went overboard. They went 1, get paper. 2, take the paper and fold it. 3, fold the one edge. 4, fold the other edge. And you keep going on and on and on. A list that is very monotonous. I've seen ones where you have 70, 80, 90 steps over multiple pages, and it looks like a robot wrote it. My biggest suggestion is to make sure it's kind of like a paragraph form. Make sure that it flows, it is specific, it includes units, it is detailed step by step, but you write it like a normal person, because if you communicate like a normal person, then the person who's actually reading it will be able to understand it that much better. All right? So that's the one thing. The second thing is try and add pictures into it if you can. All right? With the spinach disc lab, I gave you a whole video to look at. If you add pictures in, it will help you demonstrate how to better do the lab. For a lab, from this lab forth, whatever one you're doing, the only thing you need to do is, if in your procedures you're detailing out, we'll say it's step 3, and you're talking about massing something. All right? So step 3, go get the electronic balance, grab the spatula scoop, and then grab the baking soda. You're going to mass it like this. If you add a picture in, add it in the text. Literally, you can take it with your phone, take it with whatever electronic device you have, put it into your Word document, and then basically wrap it into the text right there. And then what I always do is I number each one of my pictures. I'll call it figure 1, picture 1, picture 2, figure 2, data table 2, whatever. If it's a data table, picture, graph, whatever pictorial you're using, label it as such in a sequential order. And then in your writing, when you're talking about you're getting the electronic balance and the spatula scoop, what you can do is just say in parentheses, parenthetical information, just say, see figure this, see picture 1, see data table 4, whatever picture that you want to reference to help you understand that part. Okay? Don't just randomly throw pictures in there. That doesn't make any sense. The last thing that I see that was a good piece of advice, on top of everything else that I've seen with other normal format things for procedures, is to include your calculations. The biggest calculation that most people oftentimes do is averages, right? So if you do averages in some sort of lab, give an example of an average that you would do. And simply you could just like to do A plus B plus C divided by 3 equals whatever. And you give that one example of how you would get that average, so that when the next person is doing the lab, which is the whole reason for doing the procedure section, they know what calculation you used and what the basis for it was. All right? So these are your 3 big hints. That'll help you get through all materials, the method section. If you get that done, you're good to go. All right? Good luck.